Our NetNewsLedger Politics 2.0 coverage continues. We've got Eric Melillo from Kenora in the hot seat. It's James with NetNewsLedger. Joining us again, Eric Melillo, the Member of Parliament for the amazing riding of Kenora. We missed our interview last week, and we had technical difficulties of some sort. Eric, welcome back to NetNewsLedger.
Thank you very much, James. I'm happy. I'm happy to be back. I'm happy you can hear me today.
Yeah, it was kind of weird last week because we've had everything work usually really well, but some issues with internet. And then last week it was the internet seemed fine, but the audio wouldn't work. So the joy of technology.
It's great when it works, isn't it?
It is. Interesting week. House of Commons is sitting virtually. What do our readers and viewers need to know what was happening in Ottawa this week?
Yeah, it was great to be back participating in the House of Commons virtually, and a very limited number of MPs, of course, were there in person as usual. But this week was really dominated by vaccines, and our leader Aaron O'Toole put forward a request for an emergency debate on vaccines that was granted. That was sort of the topic of the week, and I'm sure it's going to continue in the weeks ahead because we need the government to succeed on this file. Where we need roughly 2 million doses of COVID vaccines per week if we're to meet the government's goal of September, vaccinating all Canadians by September, which is still a long way off to begin with. But we need 2 million doses per week, and this past week we received 0. So right off the hop, we have some ground to make up, and we've yet to see a clear plan of how they plan to do that.
Do you feel that the government is understanding the frustration of Canadians over this and the frustration of the opposition?
I think they're understanding the frustration for sure, but I think given the deal they made with CanSino that fell through, the fact that they were sort of late to the game with some of the other vaccine companies, the fact that they won't show us the details of their contracts is all an indication that they've, due to their poor negotiations, frankly, their failure on this file, they've put us in a very difficult position. So I'm sure they can feel the frustration. I'm sure they're frustrated themselves. But if they'll start working with the opposition parties and share their plan and help us work on the plan, I trust that we'll be able to find an answer a lot quicker than them just continuing to read their talking points.
That's one of the ones I think a lot of people are finding right now. Politically, we're hearing these, okay, here's the talking points, and everybody stays on them. And then people are still left wondering, what's the answer?
Mm-hmm. Well, absolutely. I mean, every single question, I shouldn't say every single, almost every single question we've raised in the House, the government just says we're planning to vaccinate all Canadians by September. Well, that's a great goal. It's not a plan. And again, as I've indicated, we're already on track to miss that goal. So it's clear that more needs to be done, and there needs to be some more urgency from the government on this file. And I really urge them to work, of course, with our party as the opposition, but with all opposition parties who are wanting to push this and ensure that the government gets it right.
It was also a week with a lot of criticism of the vetting process for the Governor General. And,
yeah,
that's been something that's startled. I think the media, the CBC started digging onto this. And then as the report came out, it seemed like, okay, business as usual. And now we have a Governor General who's resigned.
Yeah, I mean, we put in place, I shouldn't say we, sorry, the past Conservative government before me put in place a nonpartisan vetting process that was used to select the last Governor General. Justin Trudeau sort of this time around decided to bypass that process, and he handpicked Julie Payette for political reasons, frankly, and as a result, we found that she clearly was not fit for the job, and that they were not doing proper scrutiny on some of the past workplace behavior. So again, this is another one where we're looking for the government to own up to their mistake and commit to working with the opposition and putting in place a more comprehensive vetting process as we move forward and into the process of selecting the next Governor General.
Now, we also have had, since we last talked, Senator Beyak from Dryden, the Northern Ontario senator, has announced an immediate retirement on the 25th, which I think has a lot of people feeling about time. And what do you think?
Yeah, frankly, it caught me by a bit of surprise. I wasn't expecting to read that, but yeah, obviously she feels that it's time to vacate her seat, and that's her decision to do so. I know that the Senate was working on a number of different measures I don't know if censure is the right word. I don't want to mislead, but working to combat, to work against some of the things that she's been saying, and perhaps she thought that this would be a better way to go out. But speculation on my part, frankly. Could take this opportunity to say that the government has put in place a sort of a formal application process. So, if there are interested people, by all means, please put in the application and see what happens.
In the riding in Kenora, what message for our readers and viewers?
Yeah, I'll say that we're me and my party, we're continuing to hold this government to account and press the government on answers on things like vaccine, on things like getting our resources to market and getting our economy back on track. We know none of these things can happen if we don't have a vaccine plan in place. So, it's an honor to still be in Ottawa virtually, fighting for not just the North, but for all Canadians, so that we can get back on track.
All right, Eric, and we will set this up for next week as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
To keep up to date, you have to subscribe. You have to hit that like button and hit the notification to stay in touch.